portion. And for the first time, with the Thelonious Monk competition in New York, which is a prestigious competition, one of the young students that started off in that won the Thelonious Monk. And that was part of Thelonious' accomplishment. So my question is, you left that out, that's important. Because he talked about the arts, and he's been over that. My question is, like, are you willing to support the CPA for, like, the USX, for jobs, for people in our community? And that the jobs are really, that the jobs are monitored so that we really get the jobs and not people that, the people in our community are not left out. And our vehicle way of monitoring that, or not yet.
First of all, as a principal, I believe that development in Chicago should occur without displacement. Okay, development without displacement. Areas of the city, neighborhoods that have become attractive and trendy because of their location should ensure that long-time residents, people who have lived there for a long time, stay there, are able to stay there, not displaced because they can't afford a sudden rise in property taxes or rents. I also believe in tenant rights and the ability of good people to be able to live everywhere. Okay, so that's one. Two, as a community builder, I'm very familiar with something called community benefits agreements. This is where residents come together, and when somebody is bringing forth big money to invest in an area, you sit down, you discuss, and you negotiate the development that's about to take place. And you talk about fairness, you talk about equity, and you talk about opportunities. That comes in the form of jobs, construction contracts, who will work where down the road, and you also talk about affordable housing, and you talk about community amenities that will make that community and the future community a place for everyone. We need to get away from the housing patterns that we've seen in Chicago. We need to have more diverse income, racial, ethnic communities in Chicago so that good people can live everywhere and enjoy all the benefits of our beautiful city. That's my response. And as far as the arts, I love the arts. Jazz is the first love in my life. Yes. I have told my wife that. She's okay with it. Doesn't make her second because jazz led me to her, I like to believe. So I'm a big supporter of the arts. Not just jazz, but music in general and many other forms of art. I think it's essential to the well-being of our children. Right here.
Hi, I'm Kenneth Newman. I'm on the Jackson Park Advisory Council and the Hyde Park Community Action Council, the CPS reform group. And I want to know if you're satisfied with what you see as the remaking and the changing from a capital improvement standpoint of CPS and the Chicago Park District. Or are you unhappy with some of the things that have gone on and you see areas where there definitely needs to be better improvement?
I am not satisfied with the state of affairs at the Chicago Public Schools. I believe that we need an elected school board in order to bring accountability to the schools. In 1995, as a state senator, when the so-called school reform bill came before us, I voted against it. I voted against it because it gave the mayor of the city power over appointments to the Chicago Board of Education, and I think an elected school board is also a civil right, and that there ought to be accountability. We're the only school district in Illinois where this doesn't exist. The only school district. Why? I think it needs to be put to the democratic process. Two, because of the state of how the schools have been run over the past 4 years, but even longer than that, we need more transparency and accountability. There's been an effort to do away with the power of local school councils, which I oppose. I think school councils need to be invested in. School council members need to be trained. Capacity needs to be increased so that they can do their job more effectively. Lastly, with respect to the Park District and the capital program, I'm disappointed in both. There are many parks in the city of Chicago that need greater capital investment. Many field houses that are very worn out. You go into certain bathrooms and they don't smell sanitary. So they're quite dilapidated. We need to sit down and do a real assessment, a real inventory of those capital improvement needs, and they need to be prioritized. I would say everything needs to be reprioritized. We need to step back and examine and involve the citizens of Chicago and neighborhood leaders in charting out a new set of priorities for the city in its entirety.
Thank you. Good afternoon, folks. My name is Mike Payne. I lived on the south side of Chicago for 58 years, but now I live in Naperville. I am the author of a project called the CTA Gray Line. It would convert the Metro Electric line out here to operate as a CTA line. My question for the candidate is, will you help implement the Gray Line? It would create thousands of jobs in this area and all over the entire south side. For information, Google search CTA Gray Line.
Thank you very much for your question, Mr. Payne. I'm a big proponent of transit. We need to get out of our cars and make transit more accessible and affordable, and it needs to be more connected to more places. We need to be able to get people from areas that suffer from high unemployment to areas that have good jobs. But we also need to bring good jobs to areas that lost good jobs, like South Chicago, like South Shore. Used to be, have many, many good paying jobs that ensured a great future, a great retirement that's been lost. I know this area in particular is hurting. Transit is an important part of that solution. I'm a big proponent of transit. I've been working with the Center for Neighborhood Technology on a transit initiative. It's called Transit Future. You can go online and look it up. I think it comes close to the type of thing. Oh, he is part of Transit Future. You look like a futuristic fellow, Mr. Payne. So thank you for raising that. I'd love to sit with you, learn more particulars about the Great Line, but the future of our city and its vitality is making it more transit friendly for everyone. So I'm a transit guy. I ride the CTA. I have a bus card. I haven't got one of the new Metro cards because I heard there were a lot of problems with it. But if Mr. Payne says I should get a Metro card, then I will get a new Metro card. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Elena Rios. I also live in Little Village. I currently sit on the Lakeside Development project. I'm on the coalition. We've got a few members here that are with us. What we're asking is if you would work with us to continue developing our Lakeside Development, our CBA for the Lakeside Development. And so what we got is we got a draft of our legal CBA and the summary. Oh, okay. So, but there's a few of us here. I know that we want to also thank you because you came out to the MLK. You came out to the MLK thing last January in support of what we were doing. So, would you work with us to finish finalizing our CBA?
Like I said earlier, I believe in neighborhood empowerment. I believe in community benefits agreements. I believe in negotiations to make it happen. I would be delighted to sit with you to get educated and up to speed on where things are at and to explore possibilities for you that would benefit the residents of this community. Gladly.
Excellent. Let's make sure questions are pertaining to the candidate himself. Please don't try to solicit anything. This is time of the place.
You got the next question.
Testing 1, 2, 3. I would like to be presumptuous in saying, Mr. Mayor, I would like to dovetail. Yeah, man. Mr. Mayor, I would like to dovetail. Now, this lady mentioned Chicago Lakeside Development. Now, is this the group that is developing that 600-acre plot over there?
Yes.
I'm very much interested in the inclusion of and I've been watching that just for a couple of years. I didn't realize there had been a coalition. But my question to the candidate, as this lakeside development thing develops, would you be for inclusion? Because I'm inclusion for the indigenous residents, and particularly for the arts. For arts, workspace, performance space, live space.
Where's the recreational center?
Recreational center and performance center. Specifically two different things. But, yeah, and please, I'd like to know more about you. And if you're not already, again, I'm the new kid on the south side. I grew up in Lawndale, and I'm so very pleased to see you coming over here and working, Mr. Mayor.
Obviously, we have a great representation of folks artistically inclined here today. It's a beautiful thing. Yes, I think that there is room and opportunity for all sorts of great things to happen. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the communities around here, the 7th and the 10th Ward in particular, and some of the neighboring ones, of course, too. So I'd be delighted to learn more with you and figure out, what your vision for the redevelopment of that site would be, because it is a once-in-a-lifetime.
Michelle Gallimon, and I live in South Shore, and I have been, I would say, I know I believe in Chuy because I've actually been on the streets petitioning for him, which I don't prefer to do on a Saturday morning, but I did that for you, and because I believe in you, and I believe that your vision can make our community as great as it was in the past, if not better. One of the questions that I've been getting a lot when I encounter people who don't know you, especially African-American people on the South Side, is the moment they see a Latino's name on a petition, they say, I'm not comfortable, I'm not sure if I should sign this petition because those guys don't look out for us. So I was hoping if you could respond to the sentiment, I don't agree with it because I know you, to just hear what your vision and how you would address that from someone who's concerned about those divisions that we've experienced and continue to experience in Chicago.
That's a half-hour response at least. But I don't want to do a treatise on you. I would just say this. When I got involved in politics, it was to change the politics of my community, to overcome domination of our community. I was part of an effort of community empowerment that was a part of the movement that elected Harold Washington mayor in 1983. And that was a very transformative period in the city's history. One that also caused tremendous polarization. There was a lot of tension. There were many questions in the air. It's been over 30 years since that occurred. I think the city and its people have moved forward. That's why I think the potential for uniting people like never before in the last 25, 30 years is immense. People understand what matters. And what matters is the quality of life. What matters is opportunity for jobs. But what also matters is a commitment to fairness and equity in good times and in bad times. I tell my wife that very often. Okay? We've stuck together now for going on 37 years because we work it out. We negotiate. Sometimes you have to apologize. Okay? Fortunately, my relationship with people all over the city has been a very positive one. With the African American community specifically, because I believe I have been consistent since my city council days in Springfield, where I represented a community that was primarily Latino with some African American. If you look at my